So today's video is one that is just for the ladies. If you're a bloke, I would like you to skip this video and go watch something else for a while, because we are about to get involved in some serious girl talk. Okay, so I've seen quite a lot on YouTube. People have been posting these reviews of menstrual cups, and it's kind of like one of those things that makes you feel like, you know, when you've liked a band for ages, like way before they became popular, and then they release a hit song and then everybody jumps on the bandwagon, your bandwagon, and you're just like, that's my band. I liked them way before you all got involved. So can we please just acknowledge that fact? So I kind of feel like that right now because I've been using one of these babies for about 11 or 12 years. Since they first came out, and the first brand that came out was the Mooncup. So that's the brand that I was using until I lost mine in a backpackers in Pi last year. But I'd already had it for like 11 years, so it was probably time for a new one. So now I have sized up to the larger size, which is you get the size A's if you haven't had any children. Or if you're under 30, and as you know, I don't have any children, so I'm dating myself there. But yeah, I managed to get my hands on another one here in Bali. They sell them at Earth Cafe in Seminyak if you're in Bali or in Southeast Asia and you are having trouble finding these. They are quite difficult to get hold of in Asia. I mean, I don't think they have them in Thailand, and I did have to pay. I paid about 30 quid for this one, whereas they're usually about 20. Because of like the import duties or customs or whatever. But yeah, I will actually save on tampons by buying this. So yeah, I figured it was worth it. They only had this brand here in Bali, so I bought Mooncup. But if there were other brands available, then I would have liked to try one of the coloured ones, because this one's white, and they do start to discolour after a couple of years. They start to go a little bit yellow. I don't know if it's because they get stained or if it's because of the latex actually changing colour, and maybe it's a little bit of both. I don't know. But yeah, these are amazing. Like if you haven't tried one of these, I really recommend that you do. But I'm going to tell you what my experience has been like, just so that you can figure out if it's the right choice for you. Because there are some limitations where there, as with all feminine hygiene products, there are no perfect solutions. I found this really amazing for traveling with, because in a lot of places you just can't get hold of tampons. Like even in Thailand, in Bangkok, you know, I'd go into some 7-Elevens and they wouldn't have tampons. They'd have pads, but not tampons. I don't really like using pads. I find them uncomfortable. I don't like the feeling of like blood exiting my body. I like to forget about it, you know, have something up there and just forget about it. They're smelly, like they unsightly to dispose of. I'm not a fan of pads, so I've not been a big pad user, except maybe sometimes, you know, at night or whatever. So that's where the Mooncup is amazing. Tampons, you know, if you don't know about toxic shock syndrome and the risks, the associated risks with tampon usage, you must check out this article, which I will link in the description box. Story of a beautiful model. I mean, the fact that she's a model is completely irrelevant. It just makes the story more newsworthy. But yeah, who used the Kotex brand, the natural Kotex brand, and she got toxic shock syndrome because, you know, when you're using tampons, the bacteria gets embedded in the fibers, and you know, it can put your body into shock. And she actually ended up having one of her legs amputated. Poor girl. So yeah, so now she's just using her story to try and raise awareness of tampon usage. So if you use organic tampons, then that is certainly a lot better, but they're just not as readily available. You know, you might be caught short. There's not a health food shop that stocks organic tampons around, and you know, you have to go for your standard Tampax. It's just the way it is. Whereas this, if you always have one of these around, then you're fine. Now, I found that this hasn't replaced tampons for me 100%. Sometimes I would forget to have it in my bag, because I don't want to have it in my bag like all day long, and I'm not organised enough to know, oh yeah, my period's coming up in a couple of days. I mean, sometimes I remember, but generally I'll just keep a tampon in my purse just for emergencies. And they're reasonably easy to put in as well. I mean, they're not as easy to insert as a tampon, specifically an applicator tampon. I mean, they're super easy to put in, but they're not too difficult. You just go like that, fold it like that. Then you get your leg up, put your leg up on the toilet seat, spread yourself open, and then you just pop it in, and then it goes and pops open like that. And like they have like a tail like this, and you just cut. You measure roughly like where it needs cutting, and then you take it out, trim off the end. They're not too difficult to get out either. All you have to do is put your fingers in like that, pinch the end, and then use your pelvic floor muscles to help yourself push it out and pull at the same time. Careful you don't drop it in the toilet. And then you just empty the blood out, and then every month you can just disinfect it by boiling it in some water, which sometimes gets a bit embarrassing, when you're sharing with other people, and they just. But this is the thing as well. This is the same thing. Why the hashtag just a tampon or just a Mooncup is an important campaign, because we shouldn't be ashamed of this. Like, it's clean. You wash it and then you disinfect it. So why should you be embarrassed about the fact that you're disinfecting your Mooncup? Like, we shouldn't have to pretend that this doesn't happen. It happens. Anyway. So, and also, what was the other thing? Yeah, like when I was living in London, and I'd have like a lot of castings, like maybe 4 castings, 5 castings, 6 castings in a day. You're running around London. You don't know where you're going to be. You don't know what kind of toilet facilities are going to be available to you. You're just running around the city. So, you might have to use public toilets in like restaurants or in office buildings where, you're at casting, and they don't always have a basin in the cubicle. I mean, they usually don't have a basin in the cubicle. So if you're changing your Mooncup, then it's not always easy to wash it. I would always try and have a bottle of water in my bag so that I could rinse it out. But sometimes you drunk all the water, so then you can't rinse it out. What they do say you can do is you can wipe it with tissue paper and then just put it back in until you can get somewhere where there are facilities to wash it. But I don't know, I found that kind of gross. I wasn't really comfortable with doing that. And so I would just always carry a couple of tampons if I was caught in a situation like that. But if there were better solutions, I mean, if public toilets, if these took off in a big way and everybody started using them, then public toilets would actually start to accommodate things like that. And in Asia, it's actually fine, because in Asia, they're a lot more civilized with their toilet hygiene, and they have bum guns in every single cubicle, the Muslim shower. And I really think the West needs to catch on with this, because quite frankly, like, if you get some shit on your arm, like if you get, well, I don't know why you ever would get it, but let's just imagine, for argument's sake, you get shit on your arm. You're not going to go, oh, okay, I got some shit on my arm. Here, wipe it with a tissue. That'll do. No, you'd fucking wash it. So, I really, I really don't understand why Muslim showers have not caught on in the West, probably because the West think that they're better than everybody else in so many ways, and they don't think that they need to have clean bums like the rest of the world. But, whatever, I'm not going to get into a big rant about that. A lot of the businesses here in Bali as well, the Australian-owned businesses, I think they're too good for these Muslim showers as well, and it's really fucking annoying. But generally in Asia, it's quite easy using the Mooncup, because you can take it out and there's a bum gun there. You can rinse it and then put it back in there. And, if that's not another argument for installing bum guns in Western toilets, I don't know what is. The other thing I'll say about this is, obviously it's more environmentally friendly because it results in less waste. I mean, this lasts 10 years. So, you're not always disposing of tampons and sanitary towels and clogging up landfill sites and making, recycling so difficult for rag pickers if you're in a country where they have rag pickers. I mean, it cannot be pleasant trying to find recyclable trash by picking through somebody's sanitary towels or tampons. So that's another reason why I love the Mooncup. Also, again, this is another disclaimer. If there are any boys watching this video, you can like switch off right now because this is serious girl talk time. This will be amazing for your sex life. But if you are the kind of person that has reservations about having sex during your period, this could really this could be a game changer for you, because it makes foreplay a lot less messy, and there are no restrictions on what your partner can do to you, if you know what I'm saying. So on that note, I will sign off, and let me know what you think. If you're already using one of these, then yeah, if you're already using one of these, let me know your thoughts, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Hit subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. And before I forget as well, yeah, I think one of the other videos that I watched on this was saying that the Ruby Cup, if you buy the Ruby Cup, they'll donate one Mooncup to a girl in Kenya, which is amazing. You know, that's another thing that I wanted to say about this. So yeah, if you haven't done your Just a Tampon selfie, then definitely upload one of those with the Mooncup. Get some awareness raising about the joys of the Mooncup and about women in developing countries who have no access to feminine hygiene products. Do you like my song?